This CN tower is not made of chocolate, but this one definitely is. In this video, I'm trying to make a 5-foot tall CN tower completely out of chocolate. But wait, what's 10 times more popular than CN tower in Toronto? Drake. So I'm gonna make his clothing brand OVO's logo out of chocolate, spray it completely in gold, but not only that, make it spin on a chocolate ball bearing like a fidget spinner. So we have the tempered chocolate, which is at 32 degrees. And I have to work quite quickly, otherwise it's gonna start to set. I'm gonna use this pipe to spread out the chocolate. I'll move the bars again and I'll continue pulling it and add more chocolate to make a big sheet. Now set, well not completely set, because you don't want it to be completely hardened, then of course you can't cut it, it's gonna crack. The texture is similar to a Play-Doh, clay texture. I'm gonna quickly, before it sets completely, cut out my pieces that I want. I think I'll try Emory's technique, where he just hits the table and it just magically turns into pieces. So I have one of the legs of the CN tower here with me. I want to check how many grams is just one of the 6 legs of the tower. So it's about 700 grams. I'm guessing the whole showpiece is about 10 kgs, but we will wait and see at the end what's the total weight of the showpiece. Instead of going for just a single piece of chocolate, even though it's about a centimeter thick, I'm going to laminate the chocolate, so basically sticking 2 of them together, so that way it makes a stronger bond and can take more weight. Instead of just piping some chocolate here and sticking it sometimes doesn't fuse properly. So I'm going to cut grooves just like they do in construction. Cross directions like drill marks. I'm going to first heat it up with a heat gun. Simply, it has temperature control on it, so I can control how fast I want to melt the chocolate. People actually think that when I'm making the showpieces, the chocolate showpieces, I know every step what I'm gonna do next. But most of the time, when I come up with ideas on what I want to do or what I think would be a good idea, I don't really know how I should do it, or even if it's possible to make it out of chocolate. Because it's not like the ideas come with instruction manuals, or if it's already done by people before, which it most of the time isn't. So this is the progress so far we have. It has a slight curve, just as in the tower. The center pole I've chipped into it, so the chocolate fuses much stronger. And then on top of this you have the rotating part and the OVO logo, so you have a lot more to go. Now gluing the side panels of the rod in order to make the tower stand. This is the most crucial part of the showpiece, because if I don't stick these properly, there's no way the showpiece will stand up in one piece. This definitely will be the most tallest chocolate showpiece I've ever made. Apart from actually building the showpiece, another thing that I have to take into account is that we will be transporting the massive showpiece to the OVO store in the Eaton Center to get people's reactions, and finally to Drake's house, hopefully. Make sure to tag him in the comments, so maybe that will get his attention. Imagine a YouTube short or another video of me actually delivering it to his house. That would be sick. I have a sheet of chocolate which is about half a centimeter, and this is the outline of the owl, which will be raised from the background. I'm just going to place it on top of the chocolate before it's completely set. I'm going to trace around it, and then once the chocolate is set and then I take it out, I should have a thin outline of the owl. One of the most satisfying things to do is scraping off the excess chocolate that you see here. I actually call it the chocolate lip, because when you cut out pieces with a stick, it sticks out like a lip. So I call it a chocolate lip, but I'm sure that's not technical term for it. I'm now spraying the OVO logo in gold powder. I mixed both of them with alcohol. The alcohol I have is amaretto. I have a little airbrush gun with me. So I'm not doing the tower in its actual color, which is beige. I'm doing it in the color of the OVO store, which is white, gold, and black, which is way cooler. I have white cocoa butter, and if I go too slow, then it starts to spit and doesn't spray. That's good. I'm now working on the main pod of the tower that goes up here. So I have a couple of pictures that I'm using as reference. This one and this is I'm taking the pod and I'm going layer by layer instead of making the whole thing at once. The bottom piece of the module here, I'm making it using a silicone mold that I already have. Luckily, that gets the job done. Most of the time when I'm making showpieces, the tools that I use, like this yellow metal chocolate scraper, is not actually meant for chocolate. I bought it off of Amazon. It's actually meant for construction, metal carving, or wood carving. So I just find tools from places that get the job done. I'm now joining the pieces, which is the final part of the tower on the very tippy top. I've already stuck 3 of them together. I've casted basically 3 different thicknesses of chocolate tubes, you can say. I have 1 more left. I'm just going to heat up one side of it. A little bit of tempered chocolate as glue, making sure that it's level. Because a lot of times when I stick pieces that are skinny and tall, I later on find out that it's a bit wonky. That's not bad. I'm spraying the chocolate pieces, the pointy part of the CN tower and the module in black cocoa butter, and then I'll polish it using a sponge. Maybe in another video I'll show you guys how I polish cocoa butter, and then I'll move on to making my most favorite part of the entire showpiece, the chocolate ball bearing. Alright, so what I've done here is fill these small silicone molds that I got off of Amazon with dark chocolate. So these will be the balls inside the ball bearings. So that's the mechanism. I'm going to use my mini heat gun. Now that just the surface of the chocolate is melted, I'm going to spin and just touch it using the spoon, and that will scrape off the chocolate, hopefully leaving the groove that I need. And you'll have the ball bearings that go in it, just like that. This goes on top. Now it does spin, which is good, but now we have a wobble issue. It might move out of track, and for that I've made a pole that goes in the center, and these small rings that go on top. The center pole is fixated, this one, and everything on the outside is free to spin.
Then at the OVO store at the Eaton Center in Toronto. I think after this we're going to go to Drake's house because I heard the security isn't that tight over there, right?